Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics introducing a new block of the month to you today, Silent Night. You might have remembered this from last year. We introduced this quilt designed by Deb Grogan for the Quilt Factory. She had chosen Poinsettia Plaza. You might remember that collection from Moda. And we colored the fabric, colored the quilt, and the same fabrics she did. And it was so popular with our customers, selling out within just a few days with a very long waiting list. And we simply just couldn't get more fabric. Many people have been asking for a long time for another Silent Night quilt. And it's been on my heart, of course. I love that the church is big and prominent, and the whole community is built around that church as it should be. I love that. You are now seeing the second version. We were able to get some of that Poinsettia Plaza for the four corners of the quilt, and we're doing a special printing of that beautiful kind of charcoaly black with the snowflakes that really set off that night sky. But what's so very different about this year's coloring is that I decided to pull in Stof Christmas, easily our customers' most favorite Christmas collection of all times. You're seeing that on my right as well as on my left. And as we look around the quilt, you can just see the depth of color that this really brought into the project, and the metallic is so beautiful. It just added this shimmer and this elegance that was just, well, glitter and sparkle is part of Christmas, right? So it really just spoke to my heart. And as we get in closer, you can see we also decided to add some glittery fabrics for our snow that is topping all of our beautiful trees. It's on our roof. So there's just a lot of sparkle going on in this particular coloring of that. We decided to add some beautiful rays coming down from our Holy Star. You're seeing a lot of that. So the option for this particular block of the month's thread set actually includes a little bit of gold thread for that reason. But just like before, 6-month block of the month, you're getting a section of the quilt to focus on, just as before, with everything being prefused and laser cut. Thank you, Deb, for that ability to do that. That would be a lot of tracing and a lot of cutting. Now you can just focus on having fun thanks to the technology, of course, of prefused laser cut applique. Your options besides that thread set will be that backing. We are doing a special printing with Moda of Poinsettia Plaza. So when you reserve your spot for the program, be sure to pick up that backing, reserve the thread set. One thing I want to call your attention to, I mentioned a little bit about the metallic, is this year's thread set actually has a metallic thread that was not part of last year's, and that's so that you can stitch in these beautiful rays. And of course, we did that with a zigzag on the sewing machine using a metallic thread and the thread director to help reduce the likelihood of breakage. If you're not familiar with the thread director, be sure to check that out. I'll just quickly go over the notions that we used to make our beautiful quilt. Rulers, of course. We did use our Ultimate Flying Geese tool to make our four corners that each have 4 flying geese blocks. I just love the technology of that tool, so fantastic. This is the magic. This is the MVP of everything that's on my table right now. The ability to use the layout diagrams that we have made for you that make this become even accessible for a beginner. I love that. So if you're a beginner and you're like, oh, I wish I could, you can. This is easier than you think because of the ability to use our layout diagrams in conjunction with our light box, our Applifuse mats to pre-assemble this tree and its snow and its trunk, and this tree and that house. You can see how that all can go together. You'll simply grab your background, your snow, sew them together. There's the seam line, lay everything out, iron it down, stitch around it with your thread set. Repeat that, right? You're doing that really from all around the entire quilt, and then you're putting it together. So this is actually not an advanced quilt. So if I know what that was like when I was a beginner quilter, I just felt like almost every quilt was out of my reach, and it probably was. This is not the case because of technology, because of these tools that make this go from advanced to even accessible for a beginner, and I love that. What else is on the table that is important? If you do decide to get the Creative Grid tool or any of these other types of rulers where you want to just be able to cut around that, to cut out your fabric, a spinning mat is a great option. Not a requirement, but always something that I enjoy using. We have tried to make this so accessible, so fun, that even things like our beautiful embellishments for our tree we're including. I know it's sometimes hard to find these tiny quality buttons. I search for them sometimes at various craft stores, Michael's, Joann's, or wherever, and they elude me. So we are also including that in your program. So you can focus on having fun. We've done a lot of the heavy lifting for you so that when you're getting your kit each month, you can just open that up and have fun. That's the whole point. So be sure to reserve your spot, your backing, your thread set. Pick up any notions you might need, and I will see you soon on another Shabby video.